Did I say your name right this time?
Thank you for asking. It's Vivek, like
Vivek.
cake.
Vivek.
Like cake.
Okay, Vivek.
Vivek, you got it.
It's hard to look at you as a leader if you're moving like a lackey.
Yeah, well, I think I disagree with that characterization.
Have you talked to him about being possibly a running mate? Have y'all had that conversation?
Self-governance, free speech, open debate, that you get to speak your minds openly as long as I get to in return.
They're referred to as a 7-Eleven worker at the White House.
It was a joke. Tell me about John Adams. How familiar are you with his story?
I'm not.
He was an abolitionist in his own time. He was the second president of the United States. He did not own slaves on principle. Not only that, he actually fought for the liberation of slaves.
Now, if you're a fan of The Breakfast Club, you may want to look away. Hey fam, welcome back to One and Done. Charlamagne, I can't call him the god, so I call him Charlamagne the Knob. The Knob has to be the CEO of the Oppression Olympics. He must be into BDSM because he loves getting his butt spanked. Fresh off the Piers Morgan bruising and visibly scarred from Vivek's last takedown, somehow it's on again. Vivek snuck back into the building and Charlamagne is choking on Vivek's peace pipe. Now Vivek came with a bucket full of receipts and is providing another history lesson. DJ Envy still can't pronounce his name. He's showing zero respect and zero intellect. These two Muppets are about to swallow a brutal slap fest. Let's roll the tape.
Vivek Ramaswamy, welcome back.
It's good to see you, man.
Did I say your name right this time?
Thank you for asking. It's Vivek, like
Vivek.
cake.
Vivek.
Like cake.
Okay, Vivek.
Vivek, you got it.
Well, last time you were here, you were running for president.
That's right.
You were in that
Ancient
race.
past.
Ancient past, but your
Dropped out
roles
6 days ago?
Must have been. Feels like an eternity at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now your roles have changed and you're no longer running for president.
That's right.
So for people that don't know, why are you not on that run anymore? What made you pull out?
Yeah, I mean, look, the people of Iowa spoke loud and clear. I got about 8%, which I started at not 0%, but I started at 0.0%. And we made it to 8% in Iowa. If you looked at who were the second choice to Donald Trump in Iowa, so if he weren't on the ballot, I would have been number one. But the people spoke loud and clear. They wanted not only an America First candidate, but they wanted the one who they voted for before. And they want him to get back in there and get that job done. And so for me, the first moment that it became clear that I was not going to be the next president, absent terrible things happening in this country that we don't want to see happen.
And I've seen a lot of polls online, and Vivek is by far the top runner when it comes to polling for, say, VP. So I got no doubt that he would have been the next choice if Trump wasn't a candidate.
I pulled myself out of the race, gave support to Donald Trump, and I think that's the right thing for the country, is to allow the people of this country to make a choice. It's the beauty of our country. It's not a monarchy. It's not an...
Yep, walking the walk, talking the talk. Took it like a man and manned up, and look at him. He's facing the media immediately. Made the concession and jumped on board Donald Trump's version of the America First agenda. Got to give him full props for that.
Autocracy, the people of this country get to decide who runs the country. And the people spoke loud and clear in Iowa. And so that night...
You said you was number one behind Trump?
No. Among second choice to Trump. So among the people who voted for Trump, who would be their second choice? That would actually have been me.
Got you.
Yeah.
So the intro is out of the way. Can you see Charlamagne's body language? This guy is like angry. Over what? Why is he so angry? And you can tell his arguments are from a disingenuous place. Now Charlamagne's going to try and put Vivek down. Now this is how you can tell Vivek is genuine, because he doesn't let Charlamagne's negative jabs and barbs affect him. Vivek comes from a genuine place where he actually wants to have an open discussion and he wants to hash the issues out. But Charlamagne just continues to look butthurt. Check it out.
And I would have been the youngest president ever elected, if elected.
But why vote for the second-rate version of something?
Well, I don't think it's second rate.
The reason I say it's second rate is because y'all act like it's
the fresh version.
But y'all don't act like that, though. Y'all act like Trump is king. Like, and y'all act like
I disagree with that. Actually, you saw Donald Trump in the late phase of the race. We had some healthy friction. I would say. I mean, it's competition. It's in the heat of competition, but I don't bend the knee to anybody, man.
Because when you look at the numbers in Iowa, and you see that about half of the Republicans did go out there and vote for DeSantis, some voted for Nikki, some even voted for you. So clearly, there's some Republicans looking for something different. But it feels like everybody was too busy trying to either be Trump's VP or vying to be for a position in Trump's cabinet. Some of y'all just look like Trump's lackeys. So if I can't speak for the others.
But
so it's hard to look at you as a leader if you're moving like a lackey.
Well, yeah, well, I think I disagree with that characterization. I mean, I think that the right answer, the bottom line is Donald Trump, I think, did advance a lot of the right policies for this country. He kept us out of war and grew the economy. So I don't disagree with the policies one bit.
Have you talked to him about being possibly a running mate? Have you had that conversation?
No, I think that we've had an open conversation about the fact that I'm in for the country to make change in a lot of different ways. You know, I mean, the truth is, I think it's important that everybody know what they're getting with me. And I think there's ways to drive change in this country that don't just come through government. That's what I've been doing my whole career anyway.
Now, Charlamagne can't advance any conversation. He's on the starters line once again at the Oppression Olympics. Let's watch.
I think the Republican Party should become the party of 1776. The party that says, we stand for the ideals of the American Revolution. Self-governance, free speech, open debate, that you get to speak your minds openly as long as I get to in return.
You know, we weren't included in none of that, though. Black people, brown people like yourself,
Yeah.
beige people like Envy, we were never included.
I'm
in
black,
any of
sir.
that.
But let's celebrate the progress we have made towards those ideals. Because here's the thing about the United States of America. We're a nation founded of, I don't mean this as a joke, we're not a nation of gods. We're a nation of men. The difference between man and God is that man is imperfect. Yet we're a nation still founded on ideals.
But only white
So that
men
means you're
founded those
always-
ideas. That's the problem.
That's in the past, man.
That's not in the past. You know, the other day, I can't remember the site
Envy, you're almost as white as your t-shirt, bro.
where they said
I think that
they
we're
referred to as a 7-Eleven worker at the White House.
Oh, the Babylon Bee.
Yeah, like
This is
And that's a
satire.
right-wing conservative
This is
site.
satire.
but that's how they look at us. That ain't satire. That's how they look at you, and that's how they look at us.
Can
When
I
they
can I
think
How
we
does
just
that
don't
make you
say
feel?
anything.
what do you think? It was a joke.
See how you can take this both ways, right? Vivek could have got butthurt, upset, bitched and moaned, and lined up next to Envy and Charlamagne at the starters block at the Oppression Olympics. But do you see the difference in the energy? Vivek is just super positive. He's having fun. He's having fun with these conversations. He enjoys these open debates because he knows the solution is within us all, ourselves, individually. That's where it starts. Just look at the body language. These two clowns look butthurt. Vivek's bubbly. He's having fun with it. He was a butt of a joke. He doesn't give a damn. Let's carry on, bro.
I took it as a joke. It actually, if you read into the article, which I did, it was actually poking fun at a lot of the left-wing self-awareness here. What do you think Martin Luther King would say? We just had MLK Day. We celebrated. That was the day of the Iowa
About
caucus. What do you think he would say about where we are as a country today? He said, I hope my 4 children grow up in a country where they're judged not on the color of their skin, but on the content of their character.
There's a lot of voter suppression that keeps black people.
I'm asking you a question, though. If you just...
And Charlamagne, what are you doing to help, bro? How are they being stopped from voting? How?
Liberation of slaves as the second
What about
president.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson?
Well, I mean, look, a lot of these guys. I mean, Thomas Jefferson's one of my favorite presidents.
I can
probably my
always
favorite
find
president.
one person to make a point, but
No. But I'm making the point that the people today who are going to go decry our founding fathers for being slaveholders would have been back then the people who were slaveholders.
do you think some people are should be above the law?
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
then
we're a
so,
nation of laws, not
Here
of
we
men.
go.
That's
So-
one of our founding principles, which I give credit to our founding fathers for setting in motion. By the way,
so what's the problem with Trump having 91 criminal charges? If he's innocent, then it'll be proven in a court of law.
I think
right?
it will be proven in a court of law.
Okay.
But I think it's wrong for the country in terms of what we're going through in the meantime.
And you just spoke,
tainting
you
the
just
course
spoke of
of this
somebody
election.
storming the Capitol. What about the attempted coup that happened on January 6th?
It's video footage that's now come out in the last year, did not include shooting rubber bullets and tear gas into a peaceful audience. And then you actually see the response to that, and didn't include Capitol police officers welcoming people into the Capitol.
Saw them storm the Capitol. We saw the video. It's
So-
right there for you to see.
We saw clips of the video, and anybody who was violent is a different category.
Damn, this dude is gullible as AF. Well, gullible AF.
But if you were a peaceful protester on January 6th, and you ended up in the Capitol because a Capitol police officer let you in, and you took him some selfies and walked around and then left, I don't think you should be sitting in prison. And I think that that is an application of a different standard of the rule of law, which is why I've said any peaceful January 6th protester would have gotten a pardon on my first day in office.
Charlamagne sees everything in black and white. That's why he can't see the wood for the trees. The guy is wearing a blindfold and earmuffs. I don't think he can be helped.
Be able to peacefully express yourself. And once you lose that, we don't have a country left.
Oh, I agree, but those people a lot of those people on January 6th weren't peaceful at all.
Well, I'm drawing a distinction.
They were literally some of them were literally saying they were looking for the vice president to hang him.
I'm
Bro, two things can be true. 120,000 protesters there. 450 of them have been charged, not for insurrection, and the claim is many of those 450 people actually went there peacefully. It just wasn't an insurrection. Let's be honest.
Drawing a distinction for countless peaceful protesters who are in prison today for trespassing, unlawfully entering the Capitol. When you have Capitol police officers opening the door to them, at minimum, we should all be able to agree that those people should not be rotting in a prison cell. Not only is that a violation of the standard of the rule of law, let's talk about just the project of uniting this country. Take abortion, right? This is one where they say there's going to divide the country to a breaking point, man to man on this. I think that if a woman brings a child to term...
This is what you're fucking up at. You're fucking up because there's 3 men and you're saying you're having a conversation about women. You should be bringing the women to the table. This is why the shit you're talking about the founding fathers is some bullshit because you got a bunch of men, you got a bunch of white men trying to make policies for a bunch of diverse groups.
No, most women...
Damn, someone's just spilling soy milk all over the table. Stop simping, Charlamagne. Anyone can have an opinion on any subject. You don't need to be a dog to describe what a dog is or how a dog behaves. Charlamagne's like a bucket. Vivek's filling this bucket, but there's a hole in it because nothing's holding. It's such a stupid argument that because you're not a female, you can't have an opinion. Females have opinions about men all the time, and I don't have a problem with that.
Women here like what I'm about to say. Most men
You
don't.
got 2 women right there. Ask them.
We have actually, and we've had a conversation. I think you may be worried about what I'm about to say, which is that I think if a woman brings a child to term, she should be able to make the man financially responsible for both her and the child if she does it. Period. And that should be the law of the land.
That happens though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen today. Not to the scale I'm talking about. Full
That's
financial.
what child support is.
It's you do 50-50. You got 40% for the man. I'm talking about 100%. So it's 2x over. He's fully responsible for the woman and fully responsible for the child.
She has to
because her responsibility. She took 9 months to actually bring the child to term.
I think what he's saying here is sort of quite clever. What he's saying is, if you're going to have an entanglement, there is going to be some responsibility attached to it. And the responsibility is going to go both ways. But there's one important thing that he's probably going to bring up, and that is that DNA testing should be a must. In the West, I think 27% of DNA tests come back false. So that means almost 1/3 of women are putting these men on the hook and making them responsible for being a father of a child that they had nothing to do with. I'm sure he's going to mention that shortly.
If it's confirmed with a genetic paternity test. So right now, today, 40 years ago,
he has full responsibility until the child's 18.
Absolutely, and full responsibility for the woman during that time.
I don't think that's bad.
I don't think it's bad either.
Yeah,
because I think that part of the criticism of Republicans is, oh, you're just throwing women under the bus. I say, that's a fair criticism. Let's actually take that seriously and say we're all in this together. If you believe that unborn life is life.
I think most women would agree with that. I think most women would say,
most women absolutely would agree with
paying
that.
for the child and for me. Yes.
Most women would agree with that, right? And that's not the state of
afford that.
But then men should think about that on the front end. That's the whole point. Because women can't afford that either. That's the whole. This gets to the heart of the abortion
debate.
That's not a bad point. This gets to the heart of the abortion debate.
But what he's saying is you should think about that on the front end.
Exactly.
Put your
That's the
condom
whole
on.
point.
Remember when Young Thug was like, "Yo, if you broke, shouldn't be having babies."
Yeah, but
exactly.
But things happen that don't. But things happen that don't work
this.
out. If you think it's going to work out, and it obviously doesn't now, a man
if
that's
it's
making
confirmed by
$40,000 a year, you want him to pay for the woman and the child?
That's not the wildest thing I've heard you say.
Because she's actually got 9 months of carrying the child.
Now, this is one of the most frustrating interviews or debate. Well, it's not really a debate, but interviews I've actually ever seen. It's like watching a grown man that's talking to an infant that can't speak or hasn't learned to walk yet. The only positive is that Charlamagne has a fairly big audience, and maybe some of his listeners can get enlightened by Vivek's positive message. Now, TDS runs super deep with Charlamagne. He openly admits that he regrets voting for Biden and leading his listeners to do the same. He's really speaking out of both sides of his mouth. He regrets voting for Biden, but he wants to go back and do the same thing again. Now, I apologize. I probably got a little frustrated during that video. Now, as usual, drop your comments in the comment section and I will jump in there, sift through them and comment as I usually do. I appreciate all the comments, the positive, the negative, the in-between. It's all good. Now, if you've taken any value out of this video, help us get to that 1,000 sub club by hitting the like, smashing the subscribe and ringing the notification bell. And I will catch you in the next video.